Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Fast asleep. Reply say, rise and trim your life. Yeah. There's a message on your seal. Kill this man. Oh, Lord God. Hey, but you fast asleep. Rise and trim up your lamp. Here's a message on your seal.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside a rub and cheat and not press the floor. Make God what I seen him. Make him a throw and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see, they didn't can sell out Rasta, and sell it out, I sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see, they can sell out Rasta, I sell out, I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the Friday. Give a show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Give a show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, bring him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Turn, oh what's a black, bring him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
A very pleasant good morning to you. It is Friday, the 10th of October. Thank you all for joining us this morning. And sorry for the all-day absent yesterday. I really needed some rest yesterday morning because it was all over the place. And then I had a massive feast of curry chicken foot, yam, dasheen, and banana. And then I just slept the entire evening. So sorry about that, globalist. Really sorry. But never mind. We are back here this morning, and it continues. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning, welcome. Thank you all for joining us this morning. We have quite a few bits of topics to touch on this morning, so please bear with us. We'll deal with what we have on our slides before we get to our video clips. Sharon Bernard, good morning. Debbie Jervis TV, good morning, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Elga Fletcher, Marcy Thomas, John Pines, Suzette Williams, Cable and Indian Nation, Colleen, Jamrak 8766, Miranda Ruddock, Colin, Gloria Jones, Karen Nemard, Raymond G, Violet Watson, Opal Watson, good morning, one and all. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Judy Roberts, good morning. TikTok, welcome, good morning. Lovely to have you on board. Mikey, Crawler, President, Instanani, morning all. Welcome. Renice Nicholson, morning. Oh no, do we have an whole heap of little bits and pieces to touch on. So we are going to get away into our little bits and pieces. Abinasa Cody, how you do, Ladybug? We are still worried about Jaden Smith and how kind of silence in here this morning. The story has becoming, we heard nothing about search or any form of update towards if there's a continued search by the community and the security services, Marcia Gale. So we still have that on our radar. Mr. Cool and Deadly, Sharon Johnson, Walton, morning. We still have the young missing Jaden Smith on our radar, but I'm a bit concerned, Pamela Akola, of how the story and information of the search and such alike has gone a bit quiet. So I'm hoping we will hear something soon, one, and two, we hope that Jaden Smith is still alive and will return home safe. And those who are, if there are assisting him in his runaway at the moment, you are not doing much of a good. And I would call it child abduction, literally. If that's the case, I would call it child abduction. Colleen, morning. And then on to another teenager, the young Miss Surgeon, whose body has been found, and the father is now in pursuit by law enforcement. There's a request for him to surrender. Lawrence Sergeant, if you are hearing us, either you go up in a tree with a piece of rope, you go on top of a bridge, or you hand over yourself to the police. Debbie and Duncan, morning. How are you? So we hope that a dangerous child killer on the loose, will be caught up, will get caught by the authority in no time soon, or he can do the honors himself by, as we say in Jamaica, take for yourself. We don't want to, them love to say we are violate. So, understand what me say, a piece of rope, a tin of Vaseline on top of a bridge. I think you all understand. But a dangerous child killer, one who allegedly raped, murdered, and burned his daughter's body and made a false alarm. A false alarm. What you call that same thing? The obstruction of justice. Obstruction of justice. Concealing a body. Lying to the police of her disappearance when you know you raped her and killed her. And now a dangerous child predator and murderer, Jamaica, even though we have a heap of them down there, is on the loose. And that ought to be grave concern, because your child, especially your daughters, Norman Ferguson, Evan Bradford, moving to and fro when a dangerous child killer is on the loose, it should be something worrying. So we're hoping we do the decent thing, or the authorities will catch up with him in good old time. The Minister of Education. The Minister of Education, Dana Morris Dixon, JP, said, we need to call upon churches and the Christian community and urge them to rescue Jamaica's student. Because Miss Morris Dixon is of the view that the absence of religious value in our children upbringing, and as a result of broken homes, our children need rescue. Carla Williams. Now, you would want to agree or disagree with Miss Dixon. I kind of agree with a part of what she says, but have a bit of pushback on a part of it. Religious value is one thing. We can see where there's a depletion of religious value in society. But, Miss Dixon, wasn't it Andrew, no correct me if me right or me wrong, wasn't it Andrew that removed prayer or wanted remove things like prayer and devotion out of school, wasn't it? Wasn't this government that done that? Either removed or want to remove like prayers and devotion out of school? But this is the same government that is calling for religious intervention in our schools. Now, having agreed with her pathway, I'm always of the view that the church communities have a role to play as well. Because if you can remember after COVID, when they returned to school and the violence, one of the things I called on the government to put together is a multidisciplinary team from the Ministry of National Security, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Child Protection Services, the churches, and the community to deal, Winston morning, Barbara morning, to deal with the breakdown of values and discipline in our society within the education sector and institution. The government still not come up with anything worthwhile that I know of to tackle the violence or the breakdown of discipline in our school. What I've seen from them is rather a blind focus on uniform and how your hair is presented, thinking that that is going to solve the problem, which is a symptom of the broken social, the social ills of our homes and society. There is also a role for the education system when it comes to the blame, Miss Morris Dixon. Because to say, Sophia Hall, on an underfunded education, you underpaid qualified teachers, so there's a brain drain in the institution. There's also a lack of investment when it comes to infrastructure, teaching materials, and all that. So the education system, the government and the education system have a role in this breakdown what we have in our society and schools. You all have removed civic out of school. You all refuse to teach history in school. You are still going on and on with the colonial bullshit of King this and King that and Tudor this and all of what is turning us into some docile creatures. We still continue to teach the nonsense them. So with society, the broken ills of what education system I face, it come from a broad sector, Miss Lady She. And I think it's time for put together a multidisciplinary team to deal with the issue and stop deal with the one peck. No, we have to also look at societal ills. We have to look at the music, media, entertainment, films. All of those things contribute the openness of social media and the advances of technology. All of these things play a role. What happened is Jamaica wasn't keeping up with the time and putting things in place to move with the times of society, John Bailey. Jamaica still a draw them foot with them slippers. That's how the government operate. So the things we make with society move a little bit more speedier with the changing times. We are lagging behind. And those lagging behinds are also creating problem between we and the children of our society, because they're in a total different generation to us. We were in a generation where information was the reading book them where we get a school. Information was the children owns newspaper. Information was where you pass by road and hear people attack, or where you hear people at wire side attack. Information was very, very scarce then, Florence Hamilton. Not so now for this younger generation. So we have to model ourselves to meet the new generation and the new challenges. We can't continue in the backwards galanging still today, Verna, morning. 2025, in a 90% African descent country, we are having a problem with hairstyle, in education system, how your hair is plait, how it is cut, how low it is cut. I don't think to say that is going to change the mindset. We need to target a mindset change. When we get the mindset change right, the behavior will drop into place with the mindset. It's all in the mind. Trust me. It's all in the mind. It's the mind you ought to work at. When you work on the mind, the behavior that you want to achieve will fall into place. But if you're working on achieving the behavior and not working on the mind, you are going absolutely nowhere. You may think so, but me think so. Differences of opinion. It's all in the mind, old lady. And now we turn upon the wicked thief in police them. We and the wicked thief in police officers. What is the one year bow again? Andrew and Chang, yes. Hold on, let me dry it up on my phone. Andrew and Chang and their agenda. Now, you heard the Prime Minister came out screaming criminal terror, criminal terrorists, he called it, Joan Dawkins. He referred to it as criminal terrorists, Donnet Harriet. But we ought to be careful of the Prime Minister's agenda here. Because even though when they come out since Commodore, they speak subtle, they kind of drop the hard meteor judge or maker galangin, but it's not the actual practice. Police are reporting that at least 2 men who were suspect in Sunday's deadly gun attack in Commodore, Linstead, St. Catherine, in which 9 people were shot, 5 fatally, were shot and killed during separate police operation in St. Catherine today. They say illegal guns, including an M16 rifle, was seized. Is there any truth to that information? I mean, not that they killed 2 of the suspects, not 2 of the guilty, not 2 of those who are responsible, suspects. The police, them would be alleging here that there was a gun battle in these 2 separate incidents. Can we believe something goes up? Barbara Robinson, morning. Something goes up with you? Because we don't know. Jamar Ferguson left us up in the air when it comes to police story. If we don't remember Romario's story, the story of Jamar Ferguson left us up in the air in believing what comes from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Because we know people have a way of just going around pointing guns at at men with high-powered rifle in their hands. Idiots have a way of just going around pointing guns at them. Lawrence Michaels. So we don't know if it is true. But what we know, when they come out and attack like we're going to pursue them through the law and we're going to do the, we know it wasn't true. We know it's the regular, let's fool them tactics, and then we go out and deploy violence. You're all still killing innocent people because they are suspects. Suspects under the law are innocent. So given that, using the legal terminology, and put together with that the Jamar Ferguson story, we can say the police have killed 2 more innocent men. Because we cannot take the police story for it. We would hope and we would want to believe that the information the police are giving to us is true. We, though, can no longer believe that. Let's take you back to what him says. ACP Phillips. Because we know you're all are fooling us. But some people believe, we don't talk the motto galang in them. But we know pursuing one is about to go pursue with our legal means. Nothing don't go so. Shall it read morning. Uno just have come out here if you come fool with as on a usual do because on a know say we are goldfish. Once we head back on the pole and we turn away, we don't remember that the pole is there. And we will come back with us if Yvette Burrell on the same pole again. The era of information has changed, Jamaica. Get up with it, Jaja son, morning. You can't fool with Joe. Like it's a running cycle of foolery. Let's remind you of what the assistant commissioner says.
As you are aware, last night we had a very unfortunate situation in the community of Commodore, where 9 persons were impacted. 5 eventually died from the attack by gunmen. Men posing as police officers stormed into a residence there along Commodore Road. We are strongly of the view that it is young violence that is playing out in Commodore. We have been.
You notice the assistant commissioner is not speaking from intelligence. We are of the view. Not we have intelligence to suggest, not that our intelligence point to. We are of the view, commissioner, assistant, that you killed 2 innocent young men yesterday.
Monitoring this space for a while, and fortunately, for over a year, we hadn't had any much situation in the Commodore space. And so, it is a shocker to us. A very, very awful scene, I must say. You go on a scene and you'll see even the dog was killed.
All right, so we have a 4-year-old who attended this school, the Rosemont Primary and Infant School, and she lost her life in that incident last night in the Commodore district. I just want to assure you that we, as law enforcement from the St. Catherine North Division, we are going to do everything in our powers to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to justice, and we are going to try to do that as quick as possible. We're going to use all legal means to.
The death penalty, Commissioner. The death penalty without trial is not justice. Merle Morning, how you doing? The death penalty that the Jamaica Constabulary Force use as a crime fighting tool, it's not justice. It's crime begot crime, Commissioner Arlene Scott Morning. Crime begot crime. The death penalty without trial is not justice. So while on a turn up in front of where so now go pursue all legal means, you're still out there doing the extrajudicial execution because Jamaica police don't train how to arrest people.
Pursue the suspects, and we are going to bring them to justice. In the meantime, we just want to offer our condolences as a police force to the school family, understanding that you are hurting. We understand that the community is hurting, and that together we have to work to get rid of these criminals, to take them off the streets and to put them where they belong, have them incarcerated for as long as the law allows them.
Where they belong, then there's a pause. Incarcerated as long as the law allows. But you're not doing that. This is why Indicom is saying in the last 5 years, Commissioner, killing by you have gone up by 500%. Now, look at the timeline. In the last 500 years, the most powerful terroristic reign of Andrew Holness. Now, we saw from Marco Rubio came, Andrew Holness is calling for a war on gangs. The same Andrew Holness went to the United Nations without a penny to rock against one another, calling for a global war on gangs. Andrew Holness come home from the United Nations and nobody now pay attention to Andrew Holness. What did Andrew Holness do? All right, let us organize some mass shooting and some drive-by shooting, Prime Minister. And then we can come out with the terrorist argument, because America loves to support you when they hear the word terrorists. Is that the game, Prime Minister? Is that the agenda for the drive-by shooting and the mass shooting them? Because you say nobody now take your argument of declaring a global war on gangs catching hypeness. So make me show them say Jamaica are being terrorized. Jamaicans are being terrorized. So maybe Donald Trump and America, where don't like terror, they can come in and come help me farm the war upon gang. No, sir? How nothing you go? Because as Andrew come from the United Nations, real sweet. Oh no, see the violence. Since Andrew come back from the United Nations from spouting bullshit, you don't see the rise in mass killings and drive-by killing. You don't see it. And Andrew come out, tar it as a what's you ma call it, a terrorist crime. Carlos Wagwan, welcome. Just son. Terrorist crime. So Andrew Holness, I look war March morning. How you do? Andrew Holness, I look help. The Ingalangin. So we must keep with a close on this Prime Minister and what's the agenda with these drive-by and mass shooting that the Prime Minister organized. And then all of a sudden, the Prime Minister come out with a terrorism argument because nobody now focus on the Prime Minister and global war and gang. Okay, terrorism is very more susceptible to all of them, Gloria Jones. They will respond well to the Andrew Holness, we are watching. Andrew Holness, we are watching. No, terrorism. The government can use the rules of terrorism to remove your rights. Andrew Holness has lost a lot of his dictatorial power, which, if him going to enforce it now, him have to use state of him, because him and the court and the people of Jamaica and state of emergency. No, let me turn it to terrorism, because I have a leeway here when it comes to the issue of national security and terrorism. Prime Minister, you can't fool me. Thieving man. Corrupt man. Baby killing Andrew. Because I'm not Tufton alone. I'm responsible for with dead baby, you know. Because we never hear Tufton hearing dead baby cry yet. And you know how dead baby cry. You baby killing Prime Minister. You thief. You criminal. You murderer. You organize crime in our country. Prime Minister, forget it. I don't want to cuss this morning. Dr. Horace Chang, Minister of National Security and Peace. Peace in Jamaica. I don't know if it's piece of bread, piece of cheese, piece of bun. I don't know a piece of what. But Horace Chang is the Minister of National Security and Peace.
Minister of National Security and Peace, Dr. Horace Chang, has described as reprehensible yesterday's deadly violent attack in Linstead, St. Catherine. He says the deliberate disregard for human life, especially the life of an innocent child, strikes at the very core of our humanity. He says the incident is being intensely investigated and the criminals will be relentlessly pursued, apprehended and prosecuted. Dr. Chang adds that the National Security Ministry
You see the mixed messaging. You see the mixed messaging. Okay, then drop the judge and maker. Cause them sissy, the judge and maker not going down well. So you notice in other mass shooting, yeah, the judge and maker not pluck up at all. We're going to pursue them with all legal means, and we're going to put them in trial and put them behind bars and all the fuckery that they can tell us. But note what is happening. The police still out there shooting down innocent men and telling us that they were the ones who were involved in that incident. Now, question to you, Dr. Chan. Given that we know that you're a person who like to carry guns into the country by the container, big guns like AK-47s and all that, who to say, Dr. Chan? The M16 rifle and belong to you as well. If you're carrying AK-47, Dr. Chang, if you're carrying AK-47, what it up if I'm carrying M16? Whose gun was it, Dr. Chang?
Its dedication to ensuring that justice is served and that every measure necessary is taken to restore calm and security to the people of Linstead and the wider parish of St. Catherine. The Deputy Prime Minister says the government remains unwavering in its commitment to dismantling criminal networks and the conditions that fuel such acts of...
The condition that fuels such act is the part that jump out at me. Given that the Minister of National Security and Peace is Jamaica's biggest gun importer, how do you work that out? The same person who is responsible for peace, the same person who is responsible for law enforcement, is the same people, is the same person that is bringing illegal guns by the container. It is the same person that is the leader of a gang. It is the same person that is arming garrisons around the country. And you think we're going somewhere? You think we are going somewhere? So, Mrs. Ona use Commodore for play pan with conscience. We don't have no conscience. We conscience share up. A whole heap of people we have to stretch with conscience like elastic because they have to share up for everybody. Because we not like uno politician, PMP, labor right, private sector, church, and all the other give themselves a big name group out there. We have conscience whether Jamaicans are being shot by police or by gunmen. Let's listen to the fools. Okay, everybody, all of them people here were in a power and position in our country. All of them are fool to a point, and them are wicked outright.
Christopher Phillips, Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of Area 5.
Yes, Mr. Phillips, an incident take place, across two divisions, north and south. Could you just shed some light, for us?
Right, we had two incidents across St. Catherine North and St. Catherine South. The first incident took place in the community of Nollis, Wagwa area, and the second is Rangeley this afternoon. Based on our investigations so far into the multi-victim shooting that took place in Commodore, it led police team this morning into the community of Nollis, where the joint police military team was confronted by a man armed with an M16 rifle in that community. Subsequent to that, police took evasive action. That weapon is seized, that man was rushed to the hospital and later succumbed. In a follow-up and connected operation, the police team intercepted a vehicle traveling along the Rangeley road with several persons aboard. The team was again confronted by a man who was also in that vehicle. I just want to say that the investigations into what took place in Commodore is ongoing, and there are still information that
you never done explain what happened when the police intercept the vehicle, and then you just quickly, you never done explain. So or you just slip. I mean, if I glean edit it, but you never done.
Cannot divulge, but just to say that these two incidents are connected to that investigation, and we will have several other operations, intent to arrest some of these persons who are involved in that gruesome and awful incident in Commodore. We just want to appeal to the community, especially in the Linstead area. You might see increased police actions inside there, that we want to enlist continued support in that community, and it might affect several other communities in the St. Catherine space. But just rest assured that the JCF will continue its investigation, and we appeal for the continued support of the public during this time as we seek justice for the victims.
Are any firearms recovered from the
two firearms were seized. One M16 rifle, as I said, in the community of Nollis, and here in Rangeley, handgun was also seized.
Could you say how the other men in this car, or they escaped, sir?
Well, the initial report is saying that a few persons ran from the vehicle, but they were challenged by one person who was left behind.
Can you clarify for us, was it an ongoing operation or they were just intercepted by stop and search?
As I say, the investigation is ongoing. From those investigations, and so as rules unfold, we will respond accordingly.
You have pivoted away from what she asks. Was it a part of that investigation? Was the car incepted as a part of that particular investigation, or it was just a stop and search? Why have you pivoted from the answering the question? Whose gun was recovered from the scene, Assistant Commissioner? Was there really a shootout, Assistant Commissioner? It would be good to hear all the rest of occupants are those who was within the vicinity of those two shooting that you said you suspect them to be part of the Commodore incident. We wait to hear Tiny Morning. We wait to hear the story of others, Leon McIntyre. But don't come out here complaining with conscience. We don't have one-sided conscience like Uno. So with conscience not split between uptown, downtown, high class and low class. So with conscience of all Jamaicans. So don't come out here, come riled up our emotion, come get with part on our side to go around, go kill people, pick me one, and I still haven't said a word about Jamar Ferguson. And when we, Estina and Wagwan, become good approval to walk around and shut down people picnic and plant gun upon them and tell lie upon them because we have the evidence that I won't have. We know from and Jamar the first, there was Romario before Jamar. And I'm sure there were many more before Romario and after until you get up to Jamar. You have Mr. Montague in Westmoreland as well. Be careful of Andrew Holness and in terrorist argument, Jamaicans. Be careful of Andrew Holness and in terrorist argument. Andrew Holness is trying to take away your power. Quickly on the international scene, Andrew Holness is still failing to address Annie Jones, a developing issue in Caribbean waters that is becoming more and more of a threat. Even Caribbean fishermen now are saying they're fear for their lives and their safety because the idiot in the frame of the narcissistic orange gringo, Donald Trump, is just marching around Caribbean waters, shooting down fishermen. It's no different to what the Jamaica Constabulary Force is doing, shooting down people and tell you a story and providing you no evidence or intelligence. This is what is happening. And this is what Andrew Holness went to the United Nations and gave his approval to Donald Trump, that it is okay to bomb, to send your drones to fire shots and fishermen in Caribbean waters. Andrew Holness, the chair of CARICOM, not a word. The Prime Minister lip is sealed. The Prime Minister, as I say, is on bended knees to Israel with his hands stretched out to Donald Trump. Nothing about the people of Jamaica. Nothing. Ketep. Andrew Holness was elected to represent himself, not you. Andrew Holness was elected by the people of Jamaica to represent Andrew financial and power grabbing interests. Nothing. Not one thing about you, the people of Jamaica. That's why he got United Nations and him not getting away with war and gangs. So him come back to Jamaica and him prepare the terrorism and him come out and pronounce the terrorism. Well, in Jamaica, under Jamaica's law, Andrew Holness, and as per international law, that domestic criminality, Prime Minister, does not meet the threshold of terrorism, neither at the domestic level or at the international level. Try again, you idiot piece of shit. Try again. Andrew Holness, DLP, walking around and telling people, I am doctor of philosophy, but I have a DLP. Now there's a back and forth between maritime people, over Caribbean Maritime University, where Professor Fix Pinnock used to be, until Professor Fix Pinnock with Royal Reed jilted the purse. So there's a back and forth between them and them student, because the student them basically has said, in my own words, CMU start with to participate in a graduation. And I am of the view that owner should make Royal Read and Fix Pinnock them pay the graduation fee. Like, oh, we know say, we not gonna get no justice because a defense lawyer, the Dunce defense lawyer, who haven't reviewed the information that he claimed was disclosed to him late, is still asking that there's a no case to answer, you dunce piece of shit. This year, 1 year. Be better than Paula. Be better than Paula. That is what we are asking of Claudette. Because my God, Paula has left. Paula has stayed there in disgrace. Paula has left in disgrace. Paula has left as a failure. Be better than Paula is what we're asking of Claudette. The new director of public prosecution for Jamaica. Prosecute the FSL fraudster. All those people that Paula Llewellyn were blocking their indictment. Prosecute them. Be better than Paula. And that's all I'm going to say. And Claudette, I will keep an eye on you until they can reach down the road. But we are saying this morning, Claudette, what's it or other your name is? Be better than Paula. Don't stay there in the disgrace. Don't wallow in the disgrace. Don't stay there and protect corrupt politician and corrupt public official. Be better than Paula. Jamaica deserves that. Prosecute corruption. Claudette. Be better than Paula. Paula was a stain in our country. Paula was also dunce. Because she became confused between Section 5 and 45 of the new Firearm Act, which has become a major bone of contention, which I haven't entered the talking shop on this matter at all, which I will do this morning. And at the PNP, them may come upon the new Firearms Act. Stay with me here, my people. Now, when an act, a bill is placed before Parliament, there's an intention for the bill to solve something, solve some problem or whatever, or meet up to modern day requirement. But there's some reason why you bring that bill to Parliament. Did the People's National Party, Charlotte Graham, understand the bill before them? Particularly, I think it is Section 3, the interpretation statute, which tell you, said this and that, and that mean, and that mean, which water gun and anything in the shape of a gun has become a very contentious thing as the review of the legislation is coming up. My question though, did the People's National Party understand the purpose of that legislation at the time? And did the People's National Party, from the interpretation statute, which is I think is Section 3, did they understand the the consequences of the implementation, given it look like nobody never understands, say, we're going to prosecute poor people over water gun, but those high and mighty who have bought it and bring it into the country we now go prosecute them with it on them shop shelf. But if we see a little youth to play with it in them hand, we're going to go after them. If the People's National Party understand that the legislation at the time would have brought these current consequences, why did they not test it in the courts? Monica Wills, why did they not test it in the court to see if it meets the constitutional threshold? Or see if, or we can still test it, even though under review, which the court might say no at the moment because it's under review and Parliament is the best person to fix it. But we need to understand the purpose of the law. The interpretation statute, which is section 3 of the Act, I believe, needs an overhaul. It needs understanding for the applicator, both the police, the prosecutor, and the judges. It cannot be so loosely that a pink or yellow water gun we're going to prosecute a child or an adult on that. No. Here where the water get muddy. You can put anything under a piece of cloth in dark night or with a faint heart and hold it and point it at them and said it's a gun. Now, if in a case, this is where law gets very muddy. If in a case where someone uses a water gun wrapped up in a bag or in a piece of cloth to commit a crime, then we have a problem here with the very same water gun. But how that is dealt with in the law, it's the intent with the camouflage or what imitation weapon as it would be perceived at the time. That you leave for the sensibility of the courts to sort out. But when you, the government, just show it mandatory, that's what must happen. You leave no room so that a little youth playing with a water gun will meet the same penalty and prosecutorial procedure as another youth with a water gun wrap up in a cloth and tell somebody it's a real gun. So yes, you have those problems that exist in the law, but judges and prosecutor must have a level of discretion. Should we bring this bullshit to court? It's a pink water gun. They were just playing with it. So this whole thing needs proper review. And I hope now that the PNP will either never understand the implication then in 2002 or was silent on it, because I cannot criticize them. Even if they disagree, they did not have the voting power to stop it from going through. So this is one of the fuckery that Andrew Holness used his legislative power to do in the last 5 years. Like we saw the fuckery with the Road Traffic Act as well. Like we saw with Paula Llewellyn extension. Like we saw with the summation of the office of the political ombudsman into the Electoral Commission, which is already in the Prime Minister's office of Plenty Ministry. So it's a blurred line, but that blurred line must not be given to the government to have the be-all and end for it. Courts, the judges must be given the discretion as to whether what warrants prosecution. A youth with a water gun must not meet the same, must not go through the same procedure as another youth with a water gun wrapped up in a cloth and try to convince somebody it's a real gun and I'm going to shoot you with it or hand over whatever Fitz Jackson spoke about. He said it went too far. But this is my problem with them then. Did they understand the implications then? And why up until why them never test it in the courts? It come up for review now. I hope they can put their input now and not vote through bullshit back into law again, because what we have now is literally bullshit. And the People's National Party, we have liars in there like Mark Golden, Donna Scott Motley, Philip Palwell, at the time, Anthony Hilton. You mean say none of them never say, because when you read the interpretation statute, that should alert them. And that should have allowed them to test the law. Anything passed in Parliament, you can take it to court. You can take anything, unlike a Britain, anything passed in a Parliament, we have to accept it because we don't have any higher authority. The Constitution is a higher authority than Parliament. So anything Parliament put out there as law, the PNP can test it. Civil society group like JFJ and others, lawyers, a pack of lawyers can come together and test it. But you don't make these things come out them way, and then this is why, you know, Jamaicans, we have to cut out the bullshit. Jamaicans, we have to cut out the bullshit. We have to catch up to time. We have to know where we're going wrong with. We cannot make these things continue to creep up on we. You understand? We can't make these things continue to creep up on we. We have to be able to understand what is going on in our country. We need to be more responsible as owners of the corporation. We employ them just around riot over the corporation. So we need to be more careful. We need to understand more and participate more. Not just participate for KFC and $5,000. May I talk about participate? We can send you in your prison. You have your pick in your prison for your tie.
It is no secret that gun offenses are serious offenses and they are offenses that plague our society. And therefore, I, at the time, welcome the changes to the firearm legislation or the introduction of the new legislation, but there are certain aspects of the legislation that would need to be reworked. For example, the minimum mandatory of 15 years for imitation firearm, though the said legislation affords a defense under Section 14, where a person who is caught with an imitation firearm or a prohibited weapon, once that person has a lawful defense, that person can put forward that defense. But any legislation that takes away the discretion from a judge to try a case on its own merit, case by case, is something that I have a difficulty with. I have a difficulty with someone being caught with an imitation firearm, a minor. And the consideration now is whether or not that person is going to be facing a minimum mandatory. I believe that is something that needs to be revisited by our legislators and the necessary amendments made.
PNP, We're watching and say, oh, now go conduct on yourself in another review, yeah. We're watching and see, oh, now conduct on yourself in this review. Let's lighten up the mood with what this young Nigerian says. And I'm sure most of you will agree that we need to do this with the Labour Party.
Our leaders are our problem. Nigeria will be among the best countries in the world because we have what it takes. The only we are not having any problem in Nigeria. The only problem we are having are the leaders. Even me as somebody, I'm saying it publicly that if they can just do mass burial for all our leaders and let we the youth start ruling, you will see that everything will go the way it should go. Our leaders are our problem. I'm telling you, they can come and arrest me. If they should kill me, 1,000 people like me will still stand in this country. So that's it. How can someone see? I don't even know what, because the issue is even annoying. How even under normal circumstances, apart from their salary, they're not supposed to be giving them wardrobe allowance, all this allowance, all this allowance. What is the meaning of that? The money our leaders are collecting a month in some country of the world, some presidents are not collecting it in a year. I'm saying it publicly. So that's all. Someone even compensate me for talking and give me water.
He's of the view, which I support, that we should do a mass burial for all our leaders. And we should take over leadership to a life and country. Because if we continue to follow them 1 year, you know, where we end up, we not gonna recognize anything or anyone there. Where this government in particular is taking us to. And you see, because Andrew Holness lose the chant and power when they are the go depend pan, Andrew Holness I go take it out pan way. When you know say when the Prime Minister come back, the Prime Minister just unleash the demons across the country, whether the police, gunman, police, gunman. You don't know which one of them are attacked, whether be the police, the gunman, or the police gunman. Sorry. You don't know which one of them attack you. So Nestor Morgan said, which him promised us many times, Chai Bridge I got open by December. I'm sure we are waiting. And I'm sure even though we're waiting, the people of Chai Bridge all wait from 2001, Nestor. The people at Chai Bridge were cross and create bamboo board and rope. I'm sure they are even waiting more than we. So we are waiting. And that's all my officer to you, Nestor. We are waiting. What more would you say? Now, this the one year will claim same as something or other at the University of West Indies. Say Jamaica is going to face hurdles in joining the CARICOM single market. Whoever paid this bullshit to write this article or to come out and say, F all. Jamaica will face hurdle in joining the single market. Jamaica population big is one of the things that he points out. Compared to some of the other Caribbean countries. This is the problem I have with professors and doctors. The way societies arrange in the educational qualification framework, we are meant to take what doctors and professors say as gospel. It got up. Them bright. Such a bright person. Happy no say go, so they cannot tell like them bright doctors and professor. Even your very own prime minister, you heard him call himself Dr. the most honorable, so on and so forth. What some of the professor and doctors must do is must write from a conscience. Think from your conscience and not from your pocket. Because someone who come write these articles to pull a wool over the viewer's eye in order to support Andrew Holness non-action. Because Andrew Holness not even address the nation pan carry come and the single market. And you come out here and tell we about the hurdles dunce, man. Go on this morning. Don't work me up. Go on, we know so no dunce. Anytime we so no walk with the doctor title, we know say no dunce. The taste then crazy doctor and professor. A very few of them have sense. Half of them mad like a sapphire long more. And dunce like Anne Vaz. Michelle Charles, good morning, my dear. It's good to be back home again, said Michelle Charles. Was Michelle Charles a U.S. green card holder? Is Michelle Charles a U.S. green card holder or a U.S. citizenship holder? Because whatever it is that Miss Charles have, never look like Charles gave it up. Because I don't think Charles has gone back up on her diplomatic visa, which would have life has come to an end. It's important to know whether Michelle Charles have a U.S. citizenship or U.S. residency. Because the residency, I believe, wouldn't prohibit her from participating in Jamaica's politics. But if she have U.S. citizenship, it prohibits her. So she lose, she lock up the tax office, she run off people off her land and all sorts, and she gone back a foreign. And she said, it's good to be back home again, said Michelle Charles. So they play them up there, but we're also watching the trial of Noel Maitland for the murder of his girlfriend, Donnelly Donaldson. We keep with eye on it, because we don't trust nobody in Jamaica, Whether be judge, police, prosecutor, lawyer. Hugh Wildman. You're a very educated man, very experienced man. But I think, Mr. Wildman, money and power got the better of you. Because if me, have your caliber in a line, Mr. Wildman, certain people may never defend. They rather left the practice. But it was you that say, Mr. Wildman, come out here, come tie citizenship and passport together when you want to give life to Andrew Holness' birtherism argument, Mr. Wildman. You're a bright lawyer, but I think the money is more of a thing for you than human rights these days, Mr. Wildman. Mr. Wildman. So, that's all I have to say about you, Wildman. Now, in the come has two concerns. The first is the Jamaica Constabulary Force members regularly tampered with CCTV evidence whenever they killed an innocent person. In the come now say an innocent person, me I say so. Because if the killing can be justified the evidence on the CCTV, if the evidence on the CCTV could help to justify that deploying lethal force within that moment was a justiciable thing to do, there would be no need or reason to tamper with or destroy the evidence on the CCTV camera. This is something that Indicom is coming up against in their investigation of these extrajudicial killings. We saw it played out in Jamar Ferguson house. So, just like their behavior to the camera in Jamar Ferguson's house, Indicom is saying this is becoming a problem. Just like we saw the illegal killing in Jamar Ferguson's house, wouldn't it be the same thing that we can apply nationally? Given the planting of weapons in Jamar Ferguson's house, can we not apply the same thing nationally? When it comes to police, the man point gun at me, but me, the police get to shoot him first. And at no time the police can tell we say, look, he fired a round from his bullet. All them do, them just pant. Me, none of them pants that at police and said, don't move. Or, hey boy, where you do? Or, hey boy, you don't know some man a bad man? But then just point it on the police. So that's the part of my problem, you know. They're just pointing the gun at the police. If you have nothing to fear, officers, what do you have to hide? If you deploying lethal force was within the law and can be justified by the evidence on CCTV camera or from eyewitness or anybody else or even from a lying self, why tamper or destroy such evidence? We can draw the conclusion that this is the normal practice. This has been going on for quite some time, especially over the last 5 years, where Indicom is saying police killing on the untargeted operation where they plan to go up and where they can do it in a way to apprehend people. Police killing has gone up by 500% when it comes to targeted operations. 500% higher than politicians' salary. Gone up higher than politicians' salary. 500% in the last 5 years, mind you. In the last 5 years, when Andrew Holness gave them the power, do what the fuck you want to do with them. Treat them how you want to treat them. If you want to shoot them down and plant a gun on them, it's your choice. Meet a judge or a maker, jeep back or checha, shoot first and question after. Same Prime Minister come out yesterday or a couple days ago. I talk about terrorism. Terrorism. And it doesn't send a thrill to your spine that a government who the court has pushed back for years, 18 different illegal SOEs and Zozo. This government policed by curfew, SOE, Zozo, and the bullet. If you don't know about any Andrew Holness other crime fighting tactics, except for SOE, curfew, Zozo, and the bullet, you don't make me know, because I don't know of any. Crime, police killing, police killing gone up higher than politician salary. Police killing Jamaica has gone up higher than politicians' salary. No, Andrew Holness and the new police headquarters, a Spanish town or wherever, I'm not even know, not even concerned, because you know what concerned me, Andrew Holness? Will it done on time and on budget? But not just so that Andrew Holness. You say it will cost what? $2.3 billion. 2.3 billion. Will it be executed on time and on budget? Given Prime Minister. Hold on there. Will it, Andrew Holness, be done on time and on budget? Or the wrong slide may have up there, so I soon find the right one. Because to say, if we have to go by your track record, Prime Minister, or the track record of your government, you have under construction. You have under construction for 8 years the Cornwall Regional White Elephant. The Cornwall Regional White Elephant, 8 years. And we are no closer to any operational completion. So this 2.3 billion police headquarters, a Spanish town, Prime Minister. Not only, that's not my only question, will it be done on time and on budget? There are further questions, Prime Minister, as to how much of this $2.3 billion will go into kickbacks. How much of this will go into kickbacks? But same old Andrew Holness in it. It's never Andrew's fault. It really never is Andrew's fault. No, let me go back to... It's never Andrew's fault. It is always somebody else's fault. Never anything that Andrew Holness should take responsibility for. I think that's the one, yes. Now, when it comes to the Prime Minister growth, when it comes to spending in capital budget, you know there's a report that came out the other day saying the government failed to spend their capital budget to develop the economy. I want to know this when I talk about the money part there and say they don't. But here comes Andrew rolling out and saying, oh, no, it's not really my fault, you see. It's the contractors. It's the contractors. They play a role into me not being able to meet my capital budget expenditure in order to develop the economy. Never Andrew's fault. You notice? Nothing is ever this guy's fault. Remember the road them where Andrew cut the road maintenance fund and has failed to invest on. And just say it's climate change, it's Beryl, it's Raphael, it's everybody but Andrew Holness's lack of road maintenance. How can you have a government that takes responsibility for nothing? A government that continues to play the blame game even when you catch him with stolen goods. Even when you catch this government with stolen goods, they come out and they play the blame game. Jamaica chose him though, didn't they? Choose Jamaica, get JLP for $700 million. Dr. Tufton, come here. Something goes off with you, Dr. Tufton? Dr. Tough Times. Dr. Tough Times. Something goes off with you? You know better than she did on a yard.
Welcome back. We're continuing the news. To the chilling story now of a woman who lost her baby after delivering the child by herself in the accident and emergency department at the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine. The 26-year-old woman told TVJ News that she was neglected for hours by nurses who told her they were not trained to deliver a baby and the doctor was on his way. Kalisha Williams has that story.
The bond between mother and child.
Hold on, ladies. You have to answer this question for me. Nurses don't deliver babies? This is kind of new to me because I thought nurses used to deliver babies. I mean, I wasn't delivered by a nurse, I was told. I was delivered by Mildred, a community grandie. We call them grandie, or you would all call them community midwife. One that doesn't have medical or clinical training. Does nurses ladies, talk to me now, please. I know something this for me can know. You don't have to tell me. Nurses deliver babies? Because I first may hear about this, the nurse is not trained to deliver baby. Not all of them, says Suzette McIntosh. But should we then have a casualty without somebody with a midwife experience? I don't know. Maybe I'm asking for too much. But it would just sound natural to have that expertise there, isn't it? Me not know, yeah. Remember, say me done slight labor rights.
Welcome back. We're continuing the news. To the chilling story now of a woman who lost her baby after delivering the child by herself in the accident and emergency department at the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine. The 26-year-old woman told TVJ News that she was neglected for hours by nurses who told her they were not trained to deliver a baby and the doctor was on his way. Kalisha Williams has that story.
The bond between mother and child is like no other. But even as 26-year-old Shanique Armstrong shared a moment with her daughter on Monday, her mind is on the child she lost a week ago. It all started here when she turned up at the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine to treat a persistent cough and was diagnosed with pneumonia. 24 weeks pregnant and a history of short-term pregnancies, she was being extra careful. She was later admitted, but then something strange started to happen, and she believed it had nothing to do with pneumonia.
I did feel some belly pain, but it never unbearable. So I said, alright, let me watch this. When I feel it, I get too frequent. I said to the nurse, I said, nurse, I don't like what I pain I feel. Should I do vitals?
She explained that the nurse examined her and asked if she needed to use the bathroom. But as the minutes became hours, the pain got worse. And then the unexpected happened. Her water broke. No, she was just 24 weeks pregnant.
I still stay at one place because I don't know what did happen. When other nurse come, I'm strong with you. I said, I don't know. Come here tell you said the water broke and my baby like me now no saying.
By now it was about midnight and she was in the waiting area of the accident and emergency department, which she described as a makeshift isolation unit for patients.
I'm lay down, and I feel the baby go down, and she come up, and I know say, the next time she go down, she will come out.
And just as she imagined, within a few minutes, she was giving birth. Frantic and frustrated, she said she called the nurse who informed her that there was nothing she could do and the doctor was on his way.
And I said, nurse, take her out. The baby just fly right out in front of her and she doesn't walk away. I say, I said to the girl on the phone, I said, she gone. And she said, take her, put her up on your chest. But it looked like the card never come out good. So it never tall enough. So the only thing I could do, I take her and put her right here so I wrap her up.
By now, she told us it was almost 3 in the morning. The baby was unresponsive and the placenta was still attached to her.
So when Mrs. said come out now, I just take up it, take up the baby, and put her in the towel, and I wrap her up. Because I don't know if she have a faint heartbeat or what. It's not even to take the baby and carry her.
I felt your heart drop down into your belly, didn't it? I felt your heart drop down into your belly. Now let me make a disclaimer here. I'm not so expertish on human rights because I never completely passed human rights at law school. I decided to write one part of human rights how I want to write it rather than how the university wants me to write it. And I failed a part of my human rights. That was what stopped me from getting my first class degree as well. But does this not look human rights or sound like human rights abuse to you? Now, my mother have a dozen of us, 11 pregnancy. One of the pregnancy bore twins. All 1 whole dozen of us was delivered by senior ladies in the community. Have no clinical or medical training. So baby hard to deliver now that even nurses, where I assume are possible mothers, even though they don't have the experience. I tell you of a story. There was a young girl once who was pregnant and she hid it from everybody else. On the day of her delivery, when pain started, lick her left, right, and center. It's the first I'm speaking this story. She went into a pit latrine to push out the baby in the pit latrine because nobody knew that she was pregnant. She banned it down the whole way through and wear big clothes to deliver the baby in pit latrine. But when the pain lick her in the pit latrine and she bawl out, and then take her out of the pit latrine, within 5 minutes, she have baby. And the grand work before them take her up in a vehicle, carry her hospital, are just women who were on the scene, who weren't the usual grandees, who we have in our community, did the delivery. And that baby is a spanking well young man right now. This is the nurse we're talking about. Me not understand no more. Me not tell no lie. Me not understand no more. Because you see, the more we move up in a modern world, is the more backwards for me and heartless we have become. So me not really understand much anymore. I swear to God, really don't understand much. I really don't understand much. All I know, it is very, very depressing. Very depressing. Say all nurse and doctor help kill you at birth. Very depressing. Say all nurse and doctor form part of your demise at birth. Me not understand anymore. Me totally confused. If you're not confused, kudos to you. If you're not confused, kudos to you. But I'm in a state of confusion. Other than this is human rights abuse, I cannot say much more. But the heart, hey, tell people all the while, two of my worst fear of Jamaica are nurses and police. Anybody know me, I have been saying this forever. Two of my worst fear in Jamaica is a nurse injection needle and a policeman's gun. I mean, not make no joke about it. Afraid of them two, they and them instrument.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, the Integrity Commission has found evidence of procurement breaches and conflict of interest concerns in the award of government contracts worth nearly $80 million to Market Me Consulting by the Ministry of Health and Wellness between January 2016 and December 2020.
But as you'll hear in this report, the Health Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, believes he's been vindicated.
Anthony Lugg has the details.
The Integrity Commission's report comes nearly 5 years after its probe into alleged conflicts of interest involving the Ministry of Health, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, and the public relations firm Market Me. The Director of Investigation found that 15 contracts valued at $78.6 million were awarded to Market Me during the review period, 14 by the Health Ministry, and 1 by the National Family Planning Board using the direct contracting procurement method. The report concludes that the use of direct contracting breached the Ministry of Finance's guidelines, which limit this method to contracts valued below $1.5 million. The Commission also raised concerns about an unsolicited proposal submitted by Market Me in 2016 for the Jamaica Moves campaign. The report found that the ministry did not conduct due diligence to verify the proposal's merit, nor did it engage in a competitive bidding process. On Tuesday, our news team caught up with Dr. Tufton outside of Parliament.
While it was critical of aspects of the administration of the process directed at the ministry, there is nothing in the report to suggest anything untoward. So from that standpoint, I think it represents vindication. My only regret that it has taken so long, and that along the way, a number of persons and entities, including the ministry, or may have suffered some reputational damage and concern.
The Director of Investigation found no direct evidence that the Health Minister participated in the award of contracts. However, it concluded that his introduction of Market Me and friendship with its co-managing director, Lindsay McDonough, created a perceived conflict of interest. The Integrity Commission has recommended that the ministry strengthen procurement planning, avoid the misuse of direct contracting, and cease awarding contracts based on unsolicited proposals without proper vetting. But for Dr. Tufton,
I will accept it for what it has concluded fundamentally. If there are areas to learn from, then we have to learn from it and move forward. But fundamentally, the work was about the work of the ministry, the work of the Ministry of Health, and that was done with all sincerity to get the maximum and best impact for programs, and in particular the programs around lifestyle diseases.
the Director of Investigations has also referred the matter to the House Speaker. As to what action the House Speaker will take, it's left to be seen how that will unfold.
I'll work with the speaker. What is important is that it has found no evidence of pursuing the matter beyond having a discussion with the speaker. And I will yield to the speaker's judgment and have a conversation with her.
Anthony Lug, TVJ.
Fundamentally, Mr. Speaker, fundamentally, yes, Mr. Siaga, we heard you, but do you have anything else to say? Fundamentally, Mr. Speaker, fundamentally, Asiaga didn't learn it from. Asiaga didn't learn the fundamentally from. But this is just a wonder. This, before the court arrests me, is for the purpose of just wondering and pondering. You would say think. But this is just for the purpose of wondering. Will there ever come a day where we line up our politicians against the wall and shot them 1-1? This is just a wonder on the part of Dr. Tufton. Now, to the Integrity Commission, we do not charge Dr. Tufton. If we were like labor rights, we would have said, no, labor right. Where everything, the labor right, them so now PNP. But how come you find breaches with that direct contract? We breach the procurement rules, the lies by omission of Dr. Tufton, the irregularities from Dr. Tufton in the splintering up of the contract to avoid market competition, giving his girlfriend monopoly on the contract from Ministry of Health. And you don't see anything to charge Dr. Tufton for? I wonder if there will ever come a day in our country where our politicians get lined up to the wall and get shot. Thank you very much for being here with us this morning on Global TV. A very depressing Jamaica with high salary politicians. What more can I say? What more can I say when the people of Jamaica decide to vote for $5,000 and a 2-piece box of chicken? What more can I say? What do you want me to say? What do you all want me to say? Other than wake up, smell the coffee and stay awake. Everybody is against us and I don't notice it. Everybody who we walk and give we money if you look at our way against us, and it look like none of we don't notice it. Become more and more, we're just throwing ourselves and our money at them. And they're just throwing guns and debt. Me gone here, people. Me gone on Friday. Me now make this thing. Me now make this thing mad me. Not become mad pill there. Not become mad pill that foreign. Means a mad pill. Look at a madness. But it's depressing to see how Jamaica people just rolled over and throw their hands up. Just roll over so and throw the hands up and say, do with us what you will. And don't bother asking the police them to pull out their gun out of their pocket. Thank you and goodbye from Global TV.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone and it pick a valley. sit aside a rub and cheat and not first the four. Make God, what I seen him. Big man throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Big man throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man.
Yes, Ladybug, me I go walk because what Jamaica and everything depressed because Jamaica now look up and it's depressing.
How they want to see they didn't sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Him and show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see they didn't can sell out Rasta and sell out. I sell out Babylon. And show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Him and show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, him and show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling.
Bye everybody, see you later.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.